Thank you. Very good afternoon. ขอเปลี่ยนภาษานะครับ I'm so glad what I'll be showing you have plant-based food pictures, not just meat. Okay. Okay. What I'll be covering is basically to really understand. Let's take a step back. That's what you have seen earlier on will be something that you can think about from an innovation perspective, a new type of food that we can really push to consumers. But now let's take a step back and look at what are consumers currently eating. And we also continue having this kind of question: is healthy food something that we can push to consumer? Is this a trend, that is catching up and so on, right? So what I'll be showing you today is coming from two key consumer studies. One is really on how consumers generally eat out. When they go eating out, meaning they're not eating home-cooked food, what are they eating? What are they drinking? And the other one is about health and wellness, but I'll only be focusing on the type of food. What do consumers think when they think about healthy food and so on? And what can we do about it? Or is there any opportunities? Now, when we talk about food and beverage, there are two things currently that we cannot avoid unseen. Yeah? One is convenience store, CVS. If you look at the figures that it's on your right, that's showing you the number of convenience store that is growing since 2016. There are more than 2,000 new CVS stores now in Thailand. And just within this year itself, up to May 2019, we have more than 300 new CVS stores. And which is why, if you look at where consumers going CVS as part of their food eating out, right? Whether it's snack or main meal, it used to be about 21 times in a month. Now it's more than 30 times, meaning you might be going to CVS more than once a day. It could be in the morning, it could be after work, and so on. And if you look at where convenience store plays a role today, it's all about still, beside breakfast, it's still about snacking. Not so much about your main meal, right? But it's about snacking. It's still driving there, yeah? And if we look at beside consumer, but we also talk to grocery shoppers when they decide to choose a convenience store. What is it that really are on top of their mind? Think about it. They talk about quality and delicious, ready-to-eat food and beverage. So convenience remains the top two drivers is there, but you can see food, it's something that is on top of consumers' mind when they think about convenience store, right? So CVS is not just about paying bills, something that you go easy to buy some quick stuff, but it's also playing a food channel as well. Now, saying that when we talk about if CVS continue with such having many stores and so on, this indirectly will shift a consumer mindset and behavior is that when I think about food and so on, I expect convenience, meaning it doesn't require me to put a lot of effort to go into. It could be easy to eat, easy to handle, yeah, easy to go to, and so on. So that's about convenience. So we need to think about how can we address consumers' expectation on convenience. Now, on the second topic that we cannot unseen, especially in Greater Bangkok today, is when we talk about coffee chain, coffee, or still the current crazy trend about bubble tea, yeah? And if you think is bubble tea going to be just a fact, maybe 1 year down the line, it's going to go away. And if you look at where it is in Southeast Asia especially, bubble tea still survives. So meaning there is something with coffee and tea, yep, not just about your RTD tea, but it's also about bubble tea and so on. And if you look at the cafe penetration, whether it's tea shop or coffee penetration, it's continued to be growing, meaning consumers do, right, accept and open to try out. And you can see where Amazon, where Starbucks is continue kind of expanding the number of stores because this is the trend and people are really taking coffee as well as tea, as part of their day-to-day consumption. Now, and why is that, right? Why is bubble tea, why is Starbucks continue having innovation and we have a lot more different things that's coming up? That's because when we look at if I were to really segment the Thai consumers, right, this is based on some of the key psychographic attributes that we answer, you can really see that more than 50%, right, which is either the trend follower or the trend chaser. So if I add them up, they're really more than 50%. What it means is that we are open to new experience. We are open to new things, right? We are not the conservative or the conventional. We're not going to change. I just want to stick to what I know. When it comes to food and beverage, I am open to new experience. Now, if we try to understand a bit more of the trend chaser first, I would not say them to be trendsetter. They are not, right? But they are waiting the moment they see something new pops up, right? Whatever it's there being supplied to them, they will make sure that they are the first one to go and try it out, and then, right then they can share it out and so on. And somehow you also need to know is that the trend chaser, they will get excited when being presented with variety of stuff. Meaning, if you were to launch something and wanted to get them in, right? You cannot just offer them a single stuff. You need to have multiple stuff. That's where they will get excited. Now, do take note, even though they are willing to pay for good, tasty food, right? They also do take note on health and nutrition value as well. Meaning, our trend chaser do take note of the healthy trend, right? Take note of that. And they're currently, if we look at them from a demographic skew perspective, they're a bit more towards the younger and, of course, a bit more of the higher income segment. Now, moving on to the biggest segment of the group, which is the trend follower. Now, they are not going to wait too long, right? But the moment they know that there are some influencers, the bloggers or YouTubers kind of show them, oh, this is getting popular, that there are some certain assurance that this kind of food can be consumed, this kind of things I can go to, then they will take it up and move. But do take note, right? They having a good service or how you handle the food is also pretty critical for them, right? It doesn't mean that just because this is something new food I will go to, but the moment I notice that you are not providing me the right service, the way you handle the food is not really good for me, then I will not go, right? This is your big chunk, yeah? And again, calorie is also a concern for them. Now, later on in the second part, when I touch base on the health, where you can see that both trend chaser and trend follower do mention a bit on, focus on health, calorie, and so on, right? Then you can really see what do Thai consumers see when it comes to health. But let's look at a bit more on, is there any major difference between these two segments? One thing that you can notice is that snacking plays a strong role in driving the trend chaser. They have higher penetration on whether it's a morning snack or if it's an afternoon snack, right? What it means is that snacking is something that we can continue to create the excitement, get the trend chaser to buy in, and then it will go into the trend follower. Yeah, and if we look at the type of food they are consuming. So we ask them, okay, in your past 24 hours, what do you eat? Right? Tell me a bit more details on that. When it comes to breakfast, beside your coffee, the normal food breakfast like rice with dishes and so on. When it comes to morning snack, it could be a bit of bun, it could be a bit of the RTD tea, or it could be just just kind of like, your hot tea and so on. Whereby when it comes to the trend follower, it's a bit, well, if you compare less healthier, the sticky rice is there. Towards the afternoon, you got your potato chips, you got your CSD, as well as tea is coming in. Now, I will not be showing you in terms of lunch and dinner because I'm not seeing major difference across. So main meal, it's still pretty much basic and fundamental. But snacking-wise, it's a little bit more variety that's coming in. Even for trend chaser, you can start to see something that you can innovate, right? Some kind of more custard bun, sausage roll, right? Of course, then there is still some healthier elements for the trend chaser. You could be talking about soy milk, you could be talking about your drinking yogurt and so on. Now, for our trend follower, it's more or less the same, right? You still have a lot of your green tea latte, your tea latte, as well, and then as well your sandwich. Now, the only interesting part that you will see is this. You may not be very happy about it. When it comes to evening or your late night supper, somehow fried chicken pops up quite common, okay? Yeah, whether it's trend chaser or it's trend follower, fried chicken is there. And then we also see a lot of Of course, a trend chaser could be going to your pub, your bars, and so on, right, to hang out, to catch the latest trend. For the trend follower, we see a lot more carbs coming in. It's still about fried-based food, whether it's nuggets, pizza, so it could be like ordering delivery back home to eat, and so on. Yep, so you can see that breakfast is still pretty much healthier, but as you go along snacking and so on, consumers are more relaxed to it. It can go a bit less healthy in that sense. Now, we also ask consumers, now, if I were to give you the chance to create your own ideal RTE, ready to eat, how would you design that? You won't get too far away. They still want something that they're familiar with. It's still about rice-based. Yeah, it's still more about pork, seafood, and a bit of chicken. No beef. Okay. Yes, and 80% still want vegetables, right? That's a good thing. They still want vegetables, just that when it comes to sauce or topping, they're pretty much open to it, meaning they're okay as long as we keep something familiar with them, rice, mix of meat as well as vegetables. So what it means is that when it comes to food, Thai consumers are definitely open to new experience, to new things, right? Just that if we are the manufacturer, we are the restaurant, what we need to do is we need to create a very strong pull strategy. Get them to come to us. Once we have it, they will come. Once we create the buzz, we will come. Just do remember, they do expect convenience, right? Don't make them put a lot of effort to come to you. Yeah? And at the moment, the immediate opportunity, I will have to say, is through snacking, right? That's where we can play a lot of differences. Now, saying that, we know health is something that on top of every consumer's mind. They talk about calorie, they talk about health, and so on. Now, we ask consumers in general based on 5 key elements, whether they consume healthier food choice, healthier beverage choice, or they take vitamin or supplement, or they use exercise or the kind of devices, and so on. So this is what they say in terms of the percentage. Quite a lot of them do mention that, yeah, I am consuming healthier food choice, I am consuming healthier beverage as well as taking vitamin. But if we look at how often do they do that, right? If you look at the frequency on the vertical, so what it means on average, you can see towards the end, whether it's food or beverage, is not an everyday thingy. Yeah? It means that, yes, I am making effort to try healthier food choice and so on, but I'm not going to do it every day, right? It may be just half of the time. So I still need some balance. There are some guilt-free moments. There are certain moments I want to be indulged and so on. Yeah. And why is that? Now, even though they are more open to new experience and so on, when we really look into how involved are they in being healthy, yeah, whether it's exercise or really eating healthy food on a daily basis and so on. Less than 20%, I would say it's really heavy, healthy consumer, or what we call the health conscious. The rest, even though I put them to be moderate, I can say most of us, if I to ask you the same kind of question, we will all be in a moderate segment because we do make an effort to eat healthier food choice, but not on an everyday basis. Yeah? Because if we look at the difference between an extreme group and the mass, where we are, right? For breakfast, we can talk about plant-based meal. Your almond milk is coming in, your brown rice, and so on. Versus a more common, we have your tea, we have a soy milk, we have your grilled meat, and so on. So pretty common across. But if we were to, beside breakfast, if we were to continue to consume this in lunch, right? Again, very much fruit-based, yep, a bit more of soap-based kind of food versus, the lunch here for the moderate of us will be, yeah, I don't mind sometimes having a pizza, a fried chicken, or having the salty snack and having a bubble tea and so on. And towards dinner, again, you can see a lot more greens is still coming up with the health-conscious consumer versus the mass, we still want something variety, right? So we are open to experience, but, are we at the moment? I don't think Thai consumers are really willing to go all the way to the extreme. They're more in the middle ground. Yep, something to balance. Now, and are they really concerned about calorie and so on? The first thing that you need to know is that one thing that is really working, right, if you look at it's the beauty care or personal care kind of products, right? if you go look around to your Watsons and so on, there's a lot of serum, there's a lot of mask that's really selling well. Why? Because everyone is concerned about aging, yeah, getting old. Even my extreme segment, they do talk about, I am worried about getting old, yeah? And even for the extreme group, besides stress more about work. What it means is that if we were to come up with a healthier food elements, a healthier food innovation, we don't talk about, not just about getting slimming and so on. Can we do something about, talk about, hey, this is helping you not getting old, right? Talk about these kind of elements, what they are concerned about, stress about work, not enough sleep, instead of the conventional healthy food, right? It's about the kind of benefits that we are providing. Yeah. Now, if we ask consumer what do they think about as is their top of mind healthy food, when we talk about healthy food choice, what is on top of their mind? You can really see salad, fresh organic vegetables, clean food is there, and then you have some grains, brown rice, and so on. So if you were to really looking for, are they really specific into like, oh, are they talking about some of those kind of superfoods, your broccoli, your flax seeds, and so on? No, it doesn't really come out that clear. What they know is more generic. Yeah, as long as there's some greens in it, there's some grains in it, yeah, to me, that's healthier food. So food is still much better as compared to beverage. Let's look at what do they see as healthier beverage choice, yeah, on top of the mind. Functional drink. And I'll show you what do they mean by functional drink. Fruit juice, vegetable juice is there, milk is there. So pretty much this is what they see. And if we go into detail of functional drinks, chicken's essence, your brands, your scotch and everything, that comes top of your mind. Bird nest, right? And it's all about fruit juice, vegetable juice, and so on. And we even check to them like, are you aware of, the current trend about cold press? Not many people is not aware really about cold press. All they know is, yeah, fruit juice is healthy, but they didn't talk about, do they aware that they are fruit juice, how much sugar is in there, and so on. They don't really go into that detail level. All they know is fruit juice is healthy, yeah? And why is that? Because if you look at what do they mean by health, what is our consumer understand about health? As long as, I consume a good food covering all the 5 basic groups, I do some exercising, I have some enough sleep, as long as my lifestyle is not too stressful, that is health to me. Or in a more easier way is, as long as I am not sick, I don't easily get sick, I am healthy. That's how consumers feel at this moment. Now, you want to know, what about, the wellness component, the spa, and so on. This is what there is. They still do not really know what is wellness as a definition. You might say, cannot be. I have some of my friends, we go to spa and so on. That's where, because we are in a more niche, what I call the niche segment. Yes, within the peer, yes, we know what wellness is, but we are talking to the general mass. They really do not know what is wellness. Yep. To them, it's basic. As long as I'm not sick, I'm eating very balanced food, I am healthy. Yep. So 3 things to keep in mind. You can continue to push for healthier food choice trend, but take note on one thing, price, right? Price and accessibility first. Because from, our, when we track on the FMCG growth, we know premiumization is growing, but you need to know the premiumization that is growing is not coming from the top tier premium growth. It's coming from the mass premiumization, meaning you don't go really super expensive, you go a bit more expensive than the normal mass pricing. That should work. But do take note on watching on the taste. Like it or not, I want to be healthy, but I'm not going to sacrifice the taste. Yeah? Something that you need to be aware of. Yeah? That's why, unless you're talking to the extreme segment, yeah, possible that works. Which is why I would suggest, this is basically my last slide, and I do recommend you guys is keep innovating. Yeah? Keep driving the trend, right? Don't stop, because consumers are open, they are waiting for you to provide them with all this innovation. Just remember the last thing, no matter how you go, do stick to the fundamental. Don't stray too far off from it. Price, taste, accessibility, these are the 3 things you need to remember if you want to get the mass and not get the small segment out there, right? Thank you.